Good day. You want the Saturday scoop from Cowboys training camp here in Oxnard? You got it. I'm Mike Fisher, your trusty and trusted reporter. A Friday review with a scoop, and then Micah Parsons doing what Micah Parsons does on the field and off. We are in Oxnard with the Cowboys, of course, for training camp. And yesterday, on Friday, Mike McCarthy, in his morning press conference, morning press briefing, very briefly, said, yeah, we're going to be installing some Mike Zimmer specialty stuff today. And it kind of just floated by the wayside. But I knew exactly what he was talking about. Mike Zimmer, friend of the show. And so I went and pulled McCarthy aside a little bit later in the day and said, you're talking about, you know, the double A-gap blitz. Yeah. He looked at me like, I had no idea you had any idea what you're talking about. And I'm not pretending I do. I just know that. As we've discussed here before, Zimmer kind of invented that. Now, Bill Parcells was involved, and then Marvin Lewis later was involved, but Zimmer was the centerpiece of it, the hub of the wheel. It's still weird to me that nobody ever really thought of it exactly before. We're going to take two guys, and you don't know what position they are. They're not just going to be defensive tackles, and we're going to rush. We're going to blitz, so they're not defensive tackles. And we're going to go between the guard and the center and the guard and the center. We're going to show it. We're going to not do it. We're going to not show it and do it. We're going to bring a safety. We're going to bring a defensive end might line up. You don't know. But we're threatening to bring two guys there, right up the middle, two rushers right up the middle. And obviously there's a chess game, a give and take with all of it. Well, obviously, again, the players and the coaches have gone over this a little bit, but Friday was the day of the full install. Let's move it off the chalkboard and put it on the field. And the coaches were delighted to be doing that. They've got the master here. And so when McCarthy talks about, oh, it's a little similar specialty, he ain't kidding. And I appreciate Mike McCarthy nodding his head to me. McCarthy, if you notice, by the way, in the Friday presser, kind of talked like it's his offense and Zimmer's defense. And there's nothing wrong with that. Zimmer's been doing this a long time at a head coaching level. Of course, the two of them got to know each other a little bit and respect each other a lot when they were both in the NFC North. And as McCarthy says, one thing about dealing with Mike, it's no nonsense. I mean, he's going to tell you what he thinks, and that's what he thinks, and we're not going to waste a lot of time on it. So the installation of this special blitz package, which would really be foundational for Dallas, I promise you that. So then later in the day, on Friday, Micah Parsons takes to the podium. It was Dak on the first day, Micah on the second day. If CeeDee Lamb was here, I guess he'd be here on the third day, but he's not here as we speak now, to my knowledge. And it's coming, but it's not here yet. Micah talked about three levels of things. Level number one, ding. About where he's at physically. He is going to try to play up 240 this year. We showed you him on the scale the other day at 241. He was up to 250 at different times last year. His college weight was 240-ish. That's where he wants to go. That befits his plan to play everywhere. Now stop us if you've heard this before. They did that with Dan Quinn. We got him everywhere. We're going to move him over here. We're going to move him over there. They did some of that. It sounds like Micah is going to do more of it. He did some off-ball linebacker, a lot of it, again today. So maybe Micah Parsons as a linebacker too. Parsons at 240 instead of 250, maybe more effective in doing some of the things that a linebacker does. Some might argue a little less effective with the lessened bulk in trying to be a defensive end and rush the passer in the fourth quarter of late season. I'm going to sneeze. Playoff games, maybe. But excuse me, like everybody who plays this game at a high level and takes it seriously, they treat their body as a temple, and they play with, I'm going to gain a pound here, I'm going to lose a pound there, and what if I do this, and what if I stretch that? So nothing wrong with the early experimentation, Micah physically. The next leg on this chair is Micah Parsons' future. And I thought very wisely, don't get very specific about the dollars and the cents. That doesn't do any good. Doesn't help you. Your deal might be a long way away. Let's be happy where you're at, and be in the happy to be here club. And Micah came across that way, saying, I love Dallas. I'm going to build a home here. This is where I want to live. I want to be here forever. The money will inevitably take care of itself, all of which is true. So a good day for Micah, because he could have said all kinds of crazy, zany things, and he chose instead to go, I love it here. Happy to be here, club. I want to be part of the community here forever. And that's a good thing to say. And by the way, I believe you. CeeDee Lamb does too. So does Dak Prescott. Business sometimes gets in the way, but that is what they want. And then item 3, his apparel. And of course, he's got his new deal with Adidas. So he clearly went to Adidas and said, make me some stuff. So he had a sweatshirt on today. And the front of it is Dak's body and a lion's head, of course, number 11, and the lion. We like to call him the lion backer. Get it? And then he's conducting his press conference in his black sweatshirt. And then he gets done. And he's no matter what, whether he's talking about love of Dallas or devotion to the cause or wanting to build a house here or I'm not going to discuss the money, whatever, he's still somewhere in there. There's still got to be a Micah moment. So the front of his sweatshirt is about the lion and the number 11. And the back of his sweatshirt says, love me or hate me. That's Micah. And this is Mike Fisher as we hang out over the weekend at, yes, that's right, you're going to get weekend reports from me as well, whether you like it or not. We will keep you abreast of all things going on over the course of this weekend, including obviously contract stuff with the Cowboys, injury-related stuff too. A nice little upgrade on Trayvon Diggs, by the way, as he got off the cords and started doing some other stuff. As I've been telling you for weeks, his stint on PUP is going to be a short one. The Cowboys believe he'll be fine once we get to September, and maybe way, way in front of that. A lot of people speculating about CeeDee Lamb, speaking of September. This thing's not going to last. CeeDee Lamb will be a part of this football team. This thing's not going to go on forever. It's not going to go on for 4 weeks. That's my educated guesstimation. And you're welcome to hold me to it. In Oxnard with the Cowboys. Breakfast at Fish and Ease. Fish out.